Hello, it's Mary Beth Shaw from StencilGirl Products. Welcome to my almost live. I want to show you something that I've been doing a lot lately. And you know how you just get a little bit obsessed about things? I probably say that every time I come on video because I get all excited about sharing these techniques with people. And today I've got another one that I just like and I want to show you. So let's switch the camera around and take a look. All right, first of all, you're not going to need a lot. You can use whatever you have on hand, but I'll tell you what I'm using. This is that medical paper that I'm obsessed with, like they put over the the tables and stuff when you go to the doctor's. Now obviously this is a smaller format of it, and I like this format because the size is super manageable. I put this in my Amazon shop because I love it so much. It's cheap and it's sturdier than tissue. It's sheer. The collage is great. I love everything about it. Love, love, love. And then this is just paper out of my printer. I have no idea what the brand is. I just grabbed a couple sheets. I got a few stencils over here, and then I have a few random mark making tools here as well. So, let's just start with one of these solid white pages, and we'll go from there. The idea, this is something my friend Jane Davies showed in her blog recently, and I've done things like this on and off for years, but I don't know, sometimes somebody shows you something, even if you've seen it before, it just brings it up again and you have to play, right? Because that's how mixed media artists are. We have to play, we have to experiment. So just grab a mark making tool and put some marks down. This happens to be a Tim Holtz watercolor pencil. So there right away you know that this is going to move when there's water on it, right? Keep that in mind. I'll talk more about that in a bit. All right, this one is a Create a Color Mega Color. This is, I think these are for kids. I'm going to use it in my non-dominant hand since it's for kids, right? I don't know. I just like big fat pencils. I like them because they don't tend to break when I use them, because I will often make just really, I'll bear down and make dark marks. I love making dark marks like this. I'm shaking the table. It's probably shaking the video. Sorry about that, guys. So that's a cool one. This is a Caran d'Ache permanent color. I think it's called a Pablo. Probably like Picasso, perhaps? I don't know, but I'm just mainly into the color. And what I try to do when I'm doing these is, first of all, I try not to think. I really like to play. And I try to vary my line widths, okay? So, like, I'm just going to choose to color this in right here. Or I'll draw with it, or I'll color in a section up here. What's interesting is when you start to do this, you will realize there are marks you make all the time that are like the same. You make the same marks over and over. I swear to you, it's so bizarre. This is a woody, Stabilo woody. These are not permanent either, but again, I like the color. I picked a lot of the same colors, didn't I? Look at that. What a stunning surprise. Pink, pink, pink. And it wasn't because of Barbie. It's just because I like pink. Tempera stick. These are little kids' products. This is on my Amazon shop as well. I really love them because they dry fast. The color is really cool. And, you can just play with them. They're pretty slick. They really literally are slick, too. And here's another another watercolor pencil. I just thought it was a pretty color that would be, I love pink and yellow together. All right. And then let's take a little bit of this paint. This is Paper Artsy, the color Chartreuse, and I'm just gonna pull a few swipes of it across and spread it out. Now you know, since it's wet, it might tend to smear some of these watercolor pencils that I've used, that I've activated, and that's okay. I'm willing to take a chance. All right, so I haven't used this stencil, have I? Oh my goodness, perish the thought. Let's do this. This is a Stacy Bautista stencil that I love, 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 love. And I want to do this section right here. I'm going to lay it underneath this. And I'm going to look for my black pen because I can't believe I didn't get it out yet. I know I said pen. I meant pencil. I meant this Jerry's Artorama pencil. And I'm going to use it to make a rubbing of the stencil here. Kind of, I have no black and white under this, and I thought that it would be nice to get some black and white parts. So that is what I'm doing. I'm going to start another one here in a minute, and we'll take a different approach. So anyway, you can keep going, you can stop. You could do as little or as much as you liked on this, all right? So I'm gonna put this one aside, and I'm gonna grab one of these papers, these medical papers. Now, I'm just gonna confess, I've never tried doing a rubbing on these before, but I really wanna do a rubbing, so we'll see how this works. I'm hoping it'll work over here. Oh yeah, it does, of course. And this, for the rubbing, you just use the side of a fat pencil. If you have a little wax crayon, you can use all sorts of things to make rubbings. This is one of my old faves, the stencil of Seth Afters. I was trying to decide what stencils I wanted to use today, and I thought, you know, this is like an old friend. And that Tracy Bautista also. I've known the two of them for quite a long time, and it's fun to pull out some of these older stencils that are just, like I said, they're like my friends. So, all right, here's two great marks on this one, and let's do this word proof right here, just because I like that word proof. All right, now let's go back and hit this like we did the other one. We'll start with some of the can start in different orders. You need to be a little bit more mindful with the sheer paper because it's moving around a little bit. I think once I get back to the pencil, it'll be okay. So I'm gonna just put some pencil marks on here. I have, oh, I know what I wanted to show you. I have another way of doing some rubbings. You know what, let's start a new sheet here. I want to show you this other way of doing rubbing. So here's a stencil, and we'll put it underneath the paper. And then I'm gonna get the paint again, and I'm gonna put the paint on this. This is just a spreading tool. You could use an old credit card or whatever you like. I do like it to be kind of dense like this. And put it down, and I'm making a rubbing with paint. It is on there, people. You know what? I should get a better color. Let me get a better color so we can see this better. I've got some Midnight here. This is a much darker color, and hopefully we're going to get a better result. Oh, you know what? This is one of Seth After's colors from Paper Artsy, so maybe I should go back and use that Seth After paint, or that Seth After stencil. Wouldn't that be nice? All right, so you pull it across, and you can literally do a rubbing of a stencil with paint. Check it out, people. Isn't that cool? I mean, talk about random. It's just, it's one of those things that it's like you wouldn't think of doing. One of my golden friends actually showed me this, and I had never thought of it. I was like, wow, that is a great idea. I would tell you who told me if I could remember who it was. I just remembered it was at a convention that we were all at, and I thought it was a very cool technique. Imprecise, plus I tore the paper, so, you know, keep it in mind, because you just never know, right? All right, well, I want to go back to this one that I started in the beginning, and, you know, you saw me using all of these water-soluble parts in it, and the pencils and the crayons and so forth. And I'm just going to add a little bit of darker paint here at the edge. You know, you can make this any way you want. I like to use up as much of the paper as I can, just, I don't know, because I'm going to tear this up and do things with it, and I like it to be fairly covered with material like I'm doing now. Okay. All right. So, all right, all these water-soluble things. And here's what I like to do. I like to go ahead and set this so that it'll be, you know, more permanent when I move it, when I use it moving forward. That way I don't have to be hyper aware about every single item I used in it and think about, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? You know, is it going to smear? Is it going to, you know, is it going to change with the water, drip, move, whatever. So that's why I like to set it. And by setting it, I mean I'm just putting a coat of something to set it so that it'll be more permanent on the top. And I'm going to just use matte medium because that is going to prepare it. So this black, you know, is going to move. I've got a little matte medium on my spreader here, and I'm just going to delicately pull it across. Look, doesn't smear. Look at that. That's a tempera paint, that child's paint. The hot pink doesn't smear. That orange doesn't smear. You know, it's like you just never know, because some of these absolutely should be smearing. And I'm telling you, if I was painting a big painting and had this section as a collage element, I certainly wouldn't want to find out in the middle of my painting that it's going to smear all over. So I'd rather do this on the front end, and then when I pull this out, I will know that, you know, my collage elements are ready to be used. Another thing that you could do if you don't want to coat it meticulously like I'm doing is that you could just use like a spray fixative on it. And sometimes I do that too. It's a super, super easy way to fix it, especially if you have the ability to just run outdoors. So anyway, I would fix this, and then I would tear it up and use it in my art. Now I'm going to show you some that I have made before and show you how I've used them in my art, and then you can determine whether or not you think this is something that you might like to do. I really love doing it. I think the thing I like about it so much is the fact that there's not really a lot of thinking here. You are just really playing and making marks, and you just end up with cool stuff. So let me show you a few of the ones I've made. This is a painting that I've shown on Instagram, and I think maybe on Facebook as well. And this whole square here was one of my little scribble parts. I glued it down, And then you can see I continued the line, and I even took this red bit and I painted and made a continuation over here. So that's one way to integrate it into your work. This one up here was another bit that I included, and it had some of this deep blue. I think it's probably like a Prussian blue or something. And so I intentionally extended that off and put some here, and then even dripped it down. So you can easily incorporate these into your work. They're just fantastic. Now, here's some others I made. This is on that medical paper. And you might think, well, wow, that looks like it's fully covered. Yes, what I did with this one was I used those Stabilo pencils that are very, very loosey-goosey, right? And then I spritzed it with water, and then I drizzled ink on it and really got a lot of movement on this. And in fact, I am not going to fix this one because I have so much acrylic paint on it. I think it essentially fixed the paper itself. Back or front, which way do you want to use? You know, hard to say, right? Here's another one. I was clearly on an ink bench. Ooh, I like this one a lot. It's a real watercolory looking, and again, the back is so interesting. Here are some of the papers from my printer that we played around with here. And here is one where I let a stencil sit on the wet paper for a while and develop its own little pattern. Now, here are some where I was using a thicker paper. I think I used a Bristol on this. I'm pretty sure it was a Bristol paper. And when I was finished, I can tell that I've coated these. I coated these with clear gesso, which is another great alternative. The great thing about using clear gesso on it is that if you want to go in and write on it later, it is just ready to receive any kind of a mark moving forward. So that's definitely an advantage to the clear gesso. Matte medium, pretty much the same, but clear gesso adds even more tooth to your collage element. Here's some I cut into different size parts. You know, I just do a little bit of whatever with them. Here's one I haven't even finished yet. I don't think I've even coated this one yet. So, and then this is actually a painting I've been working on. And I saw this piece, and I don't know, it was the yellow, which this is a color I'm very drawn to. And I thought, you know, I think I need to put this somewhere in this painting, so I will probably do that. But when you start making these things and start carrying them around your studio and looking at all of your works in process, I think you'll just be delighted with how one item you make tends to go with another item you make, tends to go with another. And that is your voice coming out in your work. I love it when that happens. So I hope that you find this technique to be one that's fun, and you know, perhaps you will be able to incorporate into some of your own processes. And I can't wait for you to show me what you've made. So take care. I will see you the next time.